Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. A little over 100 devotees have died, and those are the unofficial numbers we have right now. And this news is coming from Hathras in Uttar Pradesh. The information we have right now is that 100 devotees have died and more than 100 others have been injured in a major stampede. This stampede, which has happened after a satsang or a religious congregation of a religious preacher called Narayan Hari, which was attended largely by women. And as of now, the reports we have are that most of those who have died and who have been injured, and I shall be going straight into a news report on this tonight after this lead story. I'm not taking any time on any other introductions tonight because this is a very major event. Most of those who have died and most of those who have been injured are unfortunately also women and children. The pictures, as you can see on the screen, viewers, are heart-wrenching. There are bodies laid out, dozen after dozen. These are Hindu devotees who fell on each other while they were all together trying to leave the venue of the satsang. The authorities have to be seriously and very majorly pulled up. I would totally blame the authorities first and the organizers second. Because while giving permission for the satsang, what assurances did they have? Because my information is, viewers, that the problem is that the number of people who were there, the crowd that was there was much more than could be logically accommodated. So the question that comes to my mind while I watch those pictures is, what arrangement, if any, did the UP government authorities have, the local district magistrate have, regarding the number of people who were brought in? What arrangements did the district magistrate or SDM or local authorities have regarding the number of entry points and exit points for the devotees? You see, viewers, when you enter a building, then there have to be entry points and exit points in case there is a calamity, in case there's a fire, in case there is a, more people in the venue than any building or any location can possibly have. The problem in our country is that whether it's legal, whether political rallies or religious congregations, the problem in our country is that there's a free-for-all. If you are running a political event or if you're carrying out a religious event, it's assumed that you can flex with the numbers, you can take chances, and because they are dealing with politicians and religious figures, the local authorities also appear to be more flexible, and this is the fundamental reason why there are these stampedes. So my question is also on the religious figures. It cannot be that any Dharam Guru can say, I'm not legally responsible. What legal responsibility did Narayan Hari Baba in this case, who is the organizer of the satsang, provide or take? Or because he is a religious figure and this is a religious event, were the rules flouted? Viewers, the problem with politicians and administrators is that while everybody will come and say now that we are very sorry that this happened, it is terrible, we will investigate. The reality is that in our country, politicians, number one, but even more than them, religious leaders, religious figures, spiritual figures, are allowed to flout the rules because there is a sense and a feeling that they have to be appeased, or there is an implicit feeling that they have to be appeased and they have to be accommodated. The person in question here, Narayan Hari Baba, I don't know anything about him apart from the fact that he likes to wear a white suit. He dresses up in white, he does not wear saffron, and that is his picture out there, viewers. I want to ask here, will he take responsibility for the lives who have been lost? Or will he blame the Lord Almighty for it? In my view, he should take responsibility. And all spiritual figures who organize these events, these satsangs, should now take not just moral, but legal responsibility if there is any event, if anything at that event goes wrong. At the same time, there should be, and those are the pictures before the stampede happened, viewers. So if you see these pictures, if you have the video before, it's so heartrending. I don't know how many of these people ended up dying, and just look at the number of people, and 99% women who had come to see Narayan Hari Baba. standing, you can see them, some of them are standing on, holding on to tent poles out there, all raising their hands. You will also see the police out there, all raising their hands in obeisance to Narayan Hari Baba. I respect the religious sentiments, but I believe the religious guru should also be responsible for the administration of an event. And the lesson should also be for all administrators, that all events in our country, especially religious events, should be very closely monitored because they involve such large congregations. And because religious congregations involve large numbers of people, everybody who organizes major religious events, and should have to take legal responsibility should anything go wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope to bring you a quick report. I'm also hoping that I will be able to bring you a live report from what has happened in Hathras. I'm sorry for the late introduction into the debate tonight and for the very long introduction I have given, late start and the long introduction, but I feel very strongly about these events. And I believe that you and I don't live into a country where human lives are considered so cheap, where we sort of live on the edge, where people who organize events and are responsible for human lives feel they are not answerable when anything goes wrong. You can't blame such events, ऐसे हादसे जो होते हैं, you can't blame it on the Lord Almighty. It is our fault.